Are you able to look at someone and say
Oh
that
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
you're able to say that, okay, this person's probably done steroids?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Liar. Liar. Well, in today's video, they asked Ronnie Coleman, which of the following celebrities do you think are natural and which ones are enhanced? And so we're going to go over this video. We're going to see, is Ronnie Coleman being honest? Is he being transparent? Is he going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt? Or is he going to call people out? You know I'm going to call people out. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. Let's get right into it. Do I agree with Ronnie Coleman?
I think in the modern day, for certain professions, it is justified because you're supposed to look a certain way on screen or on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the interview is saying, I think taking steroids is totally justified. You have to have a certain look. You have to look a certain way. And so why not? Ronnie Coleman, he agrees. Think of it. Do you really want your favorite superhero to have no muscle whatsoever? Or do you not want them to look like your cartoon character, Marvel superhero, and so on? And remember, if it's not illegal in your country, why can't an actor or anyone do as they please? And so if you decide, hey, I want to take something and you're not breaking any laws and it's okay with your doctor, then why can't you do what you want? Remember, we're not promoting drug use. We're discouraging people from doing it. If it's illegal, of course don't do it. And if your doctor says not to do it, then of course don't do it. We're talking about if people can legally do it and it's with the advice and consent of their doctor, is it not okay to do this?
I want to ask you, are you able to look at someone and say that
Oh yeah.
you're able to say that, okay, this person's probably done steroids?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Liar. Liar. He just asked Ronnie Coleman, can you look at someone and tell yes or no if they did it with steroids? He says, yes, absolutely, of course I can. No, you can't. I'm going to say 50% of the people who use steroids don't even look like they have muscle. They barely look like they go to the gym. You can't say, oh, I clearly see that's testosterone, that's Anavar, that's from trend. No, you can't. Now, if you're at the Mr. Olympia show and you're over 300 pounds of muscle, obviously you're saying the guy's not natural. But for the most part, people with poor genetics and they don't have a lot of muscle, you can't tell that they're on steroids. But here's the thing. The majority of people that use steroids, you can't tell they're on them. And so they're taking them so they can have an average-looking physique. Do average-looking physiques look enhanced? Of course not. And so how can you say, yeah, I can see it, I can tell? You cannot.
So what about this body gives it away, so?
You can see the way it's shaped.
And so he shows a picture of Chris Hemsworth and he says, yeah, I can tell he's not natural because of the way he's shaped. It's his shaped. Really? If you have a small waist, is it his height? He's over 6 feet tall? He can't be natural. It's not his shape and it's not his size. It's this. It's how much muscle did he put on in a short period of time. It's how many years has the guy been training and is he at his genetic limit? And did he suddenly put on so much size out of the blue? That is a telltale sign of somebody using steroids. If they've been putting on 2 or 3 pounds of muscle a year, then suddenly they put on 15. Well, newsflash, they're not natural.
The way it's shaped. You mean the shoulders?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just say it's a shape. It doesn't work like that.
This is not naturally achievable?
Probably naturally attainable, but maybe not for him.
And so I do like that he says this. He's like, look, it's naturally attainable for some people, just not naturally attainable for him. Ronnie Coleman has amazing genetics. Ronnie Coleman was way, way bigger than he'll ever be, even with steroids. And so for Ronnie Coleman to get that much muscle, of course. And so if you looked at Ronnie Coleman's physique when he was in his early 20s, you'd think there's no way he's natural, but he was. And so Ronnie Coleman, you can't tell based on the guy's shape, because if you could, we'd be looking at you and you're natural and saying there's no way you're natural, right?
I don't know if you can tell, but he's lost a lot of size.
Yeah.
Like as soccer fans, we could tell. This is, I think, the natural progression of a guy in his 30s.
Exactly.
But this is still natural.
Yeah, it's still natural, yeah.
Okay.
And so Cristiano Ronaldo, imagine Ronnie Coleman saying, yeah, he's juiced. He looks like he has some muscle, he's lean, and so he looks much bigger than he is. He absolutely could get that physique while being natural, especially if he has amazing genetics. But here's the catch. Here's the plot twist. If he has shitty genetics, even Cristiano's physique, for most people, not possible. If you have shitty, horror, awful genetics and you train your entire life, very unlikely you're ever going to look as good as Cristiano Ronaldo. But if you have amazing genetics, you could actually look like that in a matter of months. And so it really does depend on your genetics. And so in looking at his physique, especially knowing that he's playing in soccer, and remembering back in the day when he put on about 20 pounds in a short period of time during that thing we can't talk about, that was highly sus. And so by just looking at the after, can't tell a guy's natural or not. But if you look at the before, let's say the guy's 120 pounds. Skin and bone, no muscle whatsoever. Suddenly he's 140, 20 pounds of muscle, and you do it in 3 months. Remember, 140 doesn't look like a lot of muscle. 140 is still pretty skinny. But if you were 120 3 months prior and you suddenly put on 20 pounds of muscle in 3 months, that would be highly suspicious. How many people out there are putting on 20 pounds of muscle in 3 months natural? Not many. And so don't look at the end result, look at the start, look at the finish, and see how long did it take? And what was their trajectory? If they were 15 years of age and putting on a lot of muscle and had an amazing physique, and when they're 17, they were looking absolutely incredible, and at 19, even more incredible, they might just have amazing genetics. But if they looked average their entire life and suddenly at the age of 25, they suddenly put on a bunch of muscle, they're not natural.
I don't know if you can tell, but he's lost a lot of size. Like
Yeah.
as soccer fans, we could tell. This is, I think, the natural progression of a guy in his 30s.
Exactly.
And so, no, the natural progression of a guy in his 30s is not to slowly lose all their muscle. Just because you turn 30 doesn't mean you're losing all your muscle. You might not even have hit your natural genetic limit until you're well past 30. And so don't think, oh my God, I'm 30 now. My testosterone level is going to go so far down. I'm going to lose all my muscle. Maybe when you're in your 40s, but certainly not in your 30s. A guy at 37 years of age can look just as good or better than when he was 32. And so please don't think that just because you hit 30, you're going to lose muscle every single year.
Do you know who Brock Lesnar is?
Yeah. I ain't really paid a lot of attention to his body, though, From what I've seen, he don't really look like he's really taking anything.
Yeah, I can tell just by looking. Brock Lesnar's natural based on what I'm seeing. I don't think he's taking anything. What is wrong with you? Are you kidding me? Brock Lesnar, Ronnie Coleman, how could you?
Nah. That's just natural progression of a guy who's worked hard.
Yeah, it's just natural progression of a guy who just worked hard, who literally failed a drug test. Oh, he's 100% natural. Oh, Brock Lesnar, 100% natural. Are you freaking kidding me? Brock Lesnar.
But what in this body gives it away that he's natural? Like the lack of definition on his shoulders.
Lack of definition all over his body, pretty much,
Oh yeah, you can tell he's natural because he's not shredded. If he was shredded, then he would be on steroids. Steroids make your muscles get bigger. Steroids don't make you shredded, they make your muscles bigger. Dieting makes you shredded. Being in a calorie deficit makes you shredded. Imagine, was you gonna look at Ronnie Coleman in the offseason at 330 pounds and say, oh, he looks natural because he's not shredded? But if you're dieted down to 5% body fat and you're 200 pounds clear, you're not natural? It doesn't work like that. And consider he's training for MMA. He's probably hardly lifting any weights. He's mostly fighting people. To have that much muscle? Do you really think he's out there doing progressive overload with squats and leg press? He's a fighter. For a fighter to have that much muscle, to sit there and say, oh, I can tell by just looking at someone if they're natural or not? How can you tell?
What about when he's older? Like, you think he's still off of steroids? Yo?
Oh, yeah. Still look natural to me. Don't look like he's taking anything.
And so Brock Lesnar looks natural, but Chris Hemsworth, 100% gotta be juice. I mean, because one guy's an actor, the other is a fighter. And so if a fighter has 50 pounds more muscle than somebody who's an actor, that's natural muscle from being an athlete. Really? And so if you really want to know who's natty or not, should you be listening to Ronnie Coleman? Perhaps he's not being honest. I don't know. But to say that Brock Lesnar's natural because he's not shredded and that Chris Hemsworth's got to be juiced because of the shape of his body? Really?
How about Dwayne, The Rock?
Yeah.
You think The Rock has taken steroids?
Yeah.
Do you think he took
Maybe.
steroids?
He
Wait.
probably took a little bit of something here and there. Not a lot,
And so at least he says, I think The Rock is not natural. He took a little bit of something here and there, but not a lot. I personally think The Rock is juiced out of his mind. I think he's on high doses. To be in his 50s and look better than when he was in his 20s, 30s, and so on, how do you think that's possible? To me, I don't think The Rock's on 140 milligrams of HRT like Coach Greg. I think he's on far greater doses. I think he's obsessed with looking his best self. He's getting older. He wants to continue to have the body he had in his past. And so there's no way I believe that The Rock is natural, nor do I believe he's on small doses.
So what gives it away, yo?
Look at it. It's all kind of cut up a little bit,
The definition.
The definition is everywhere on his body.
What's giving it away is the fact that he's The Rock. Look at him. You don't need to say, is he shredded? Is he muscled up? He's everything. The sheer mass of this body combined with having some definition, the vascularity, the strength, the look in comparison to other human beings, that's what's giving it away.
LeBron James?
Yeah.
Type
LeBron, any athlete, you know. You can tell they worked hard.
And so LeBron James, he does in fact believe that he's natural. He doesn't want to list anyone, but he says there's guys with amazing physiques, whether it's basketball players or football players. There are people out there who look absolutely incredible. They're not bodybuilders, but they look like they might in fact be bodybuilders. These are guys with great genetics and they work hard. And so please don't downplay the fact that if you want an amazing physique, genetics are paramount.
How about Mike Tyson at his peak? Mike Tyson body.
Yeah, I don't think Mike ever took anything. He just looked so natural to me.
And Mike Tyson, he just looks so natural. I mean, in comparison to Chris Hemsworth, Mike Tyson, he looks so natural. And so I can tell by his shape. He's literally out with his arms out, looks like a friggin' Sasquatch a muscle. Are you kidding me? Mike Tyson, natural? The guy's biting people's ears off. He's not natural.
He just looked like a natural guy to me.
Yeah, he just looks like a natural guy to me. You know, probably doesn't even work out. Maybe just punches every day. Probably got all that muscle from doing this. Are you kidding me? Do you really think he's out there doing bodybuilding, progressive overload workouts to become a professional bodybuilder? He's a fighter. Yet he has all that muscle. I mean, maybe Ronnie Coleman is biased against guys that can fight. Maybe he doesn't want to piss Mike off. And so maybe Ronnie Coleman is scared of all the fighters. I can't call out Brock Lesnar and Mike Tyson. These guys could beat me up. And so is he in fact scared of calling out UFC fighters, boxers, and so on? Maybe that's why.
John Cena? You know John Cena?
Oh, yeah, John, yeah. I think he somewhere along the way took some little something.
John Cena, he says, I think John Cena's not natural. And yet, John Cena's recently come out and said he's 100% natural.
I'm still absolutely drug-free for life.
John Cena's been saying this for years. He's been in several podcasts, interviews. He claims to be 100% natural. Me, I don't believe it. What do you all believe? Myself, Ronnie Coleman, we don't believe John Cena's natural. What do you guys believe? What to believe?
You can do like 3-4 months at a time, you know.
And so he's saying perhaps John Cena's only doing steroids for 3 or 4 months at a time. But has you not seen his physique since he was 21? He was 21, bodybuilding. He looked absolutely incredible. And so do you really think he just took it for 3 months and stopped and kept all that muscle? Do you really think he was a professional wrestler every single year, fighting, having to travel and so on, yet he was doing it while being 100% natural? I'm pretty sure if he did a cycle for 3 or 4 months, we would have seen his body blow up in size, got a lot bigger. Then when he went off cycle, he would have lost a lot of muscle, but yet he always seemed to look amazing. And so for me, I believe John Cena was always consistently taking something. And so let me know in the comment section, what do you think of Ronnie Coleman's assessment of natural versus enhanced physiques? Do you believe Ronnie Coleman? Do you believe me? Do you believe none of us? Subscribe, click the bell button. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Of course, the GO2 Max, the Turk Builder, the Ecti Builder, all kinds of supplements on my website. Click the link in that description. And of course, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, phone consults, the Circle Diet Book, all on the website. And if you got no money, head over to our website. Don't forget to get the free diet and training program. It's close to 50 pages. Join the over 300,000 newsletter subscribers. Join the team. Head over to the website right now. And until next time, I am out.